com. It's Tuesday, the 20th of March, and this is your morning setups. So we have futures have turned green in the last hour or so. They were slightly red when I woke up, and you can see now we've turned back up, and it's 7:45, a little bit past that at this point. About an hour and 45 to the open, and we are green. IWM was the first hint yesterday that we may bounce. It was running ahead of the other indexes that started to move. It's been leading us in either direction at this point. So certainly a good indicator to keep an eye on as we move forward. So we are up very so slightly now, right, from the close yesterday, right? We closed here, so we're up just a little bit. And most importantly, that 270 area on the SPY, which we've been outlining and talking about, has held, right? So now we held 270, right? That's all we know here. We held it. Volume yesterday was nothing special. After hours and everything totaled up to over 100 million shares, but really we didn't close there. We added about another 15 plus million on after hours. And the oscillators are finally getting down into negative area. So everything's starting to move in the right direction for some type of bounce, which I'm kind of thinking we're going to see today. So where are we at here? Let's take this down. So, looking at the IWM, the SPY broke to the 100-day. IWM is held the 50-day. It's been stronger. The Qs, which has been the other leader, held the 50-day today on this break, right? So that break below the 8-day was fast. 8-day, 21-day, 50-day. Very fast, very tight up here. Everything's gotten tight together. So overnight, let's see what's going on. What are oil's doing what tonight, overnight? Oil's up. So we have a move up in oil. Very whippy action in this lately. So crude moving up. So maybe we'll see something that'll help. What else we have going on in bonds? We want to keep track of bonds now because everything going on over there. All right, bonds coming in a little bit ahead of the Fed. And what's Bitcoin doing for giggles? Doing nothing. Okay. So that said, today, what am I looking for? Today, I'm looking for some type of bounce. And my reasoning is as follows. We came off the lows and held this 270 area yesterday. Yesterday's selling and all this selling, there was really just no buying for the last days. We've had 6 down days in a row. There's been no buying. And I'm thinking maybe here we come in and get some time of short-term squeeze. A lot of shorts got roped in yesterday on this break of 270. They love to overthrow things. It took us all the way to the 100-day. So maybe they try to squeeze them today. So if they try to squeeze, what are you looking for? Obviously, yesterday's open, this 273.20 area becomes your first resistance, then into the 8 and the 21-day, and all these moving averages are right here with it, right? So we got a tight cluster of moving averages and pivot resistance. So see how you handle that area. So, today at this point, all I'm thinking is an inside day. If we get more than that, fabulous. But I'm looking for some longs, and then we'll see. Do we reshort there, or do we, let things go? And that's really what we have to determine here. So what are some of the things I'm looking at today? So today, I'm already long BABA still. BABA is acting okay, not great. It did fill that gap down, and now we'll see if it wants to come back up here and try to jump back up and get into the gap up above and fill it. So that remains on my radar. Micron to me is nothing but a scalp here. It's already back up above yesterday's high. So, it's just hard. Just, not giving a lot of weakness here. Strong names don't do that. Square gave a dip to the 8-day yesterday twice, right? Then a buy off of there. It's going sideways here. It's looking a little bit tired, right? A little tired, not much buying on it, but we'll watch it because it can move if it gets going. It did put a new all-time high in yesterday intraday before it pulled back and gave us a doji candle. So we'll see how we go today from here. Roku, we saw a small call buying in yesterday, and it got an upgrade today from Oppenheimer. So we'll watch this one. Oppenheimer went out, put a nice little piece out on it. It's already up. That's the makes it the hard part, right? It closed up here at 33.90. We're already up 50 cents. That said, it's got room up to this 8-day. The 8-day is currently probably about 36.30 when it opens up today. So, we'll look at to the top of this candle. Maybe there's a nice little bounce there that can happen into it. So we'll keep an eye on Roku. Not to forget Delta Airlines, because of that gap, should stay on everybody's radar here. And let's talk about some of the other names. Apple, broke through a bunch of areas up here, up a little bit, not acting special, not acting bad, but basically holding in better than the Qs at this point. So we'll keep an eye on this. I like this name if they come after it. Facebook is a very easy way to trade right now. We had massive volume yesterday, and it's very easy to trade. You have a pivot here at 170 at the open. Where's the high? Yeah, it's not giving it. There we go. Okay. 177.17, and your other pivot is 170.06. So you have a $7 range to trade until it breaks it. You could take trades either way. It did yesterday for what it's worth. Extended way off the 8-day down outside the Bollinger Bands on the 200-day. Look for a little bit of reversion back into the Bollinger Band today, maybe a bounce up into this 175 area before it tries to go, maybe even a little higher if it wants it. I would not be surprised if we sat here for a couple of sessions before we try to go lower or higher or figure this out. Tremendous amount of churn yesterday, right? You don't see volume like this very often. 88 million shares traded hands yesterday. You need to take note of something like that. When do you see this? The last year, you'd never seen volume like this, right? We've not seen this. So there was a lot of selling yesterday. All right. What are some other ideas for today? The banks. I'm already long JP Morgan overnight and the weekly 115s. We'll see if we can get a move up here on this. You know, they tend to want to run into the Fed, the banks. We haven't seen that yet. So keep an eye on the banks. JP Morgan is one of my favorites. Goldman Sachs can move a ton, but it's been such a difficult name lately, the way it's been whipping around. But if you like that name, keep an eye on it. And Bank of America is the anointed one. It's the one they come after the most often. Another one, keep an eye on X here. X still looking good here, right? So we had that big buyer yesterday on Friday that came in. It is waiting. It is on support here at the bottom of the Bollinger Band below the 8-day. It needs to get above this, though. So at this point, it's nothing but a scalp trade to the 8-day until it can push above that. And right now, it's not showing any signs of doing that here. But, you know, all we need is one good word, and it'll get going. So keep an eye on X. And then let's talk about Tesla. All right. Why Tesla? Tesla broke the trend again, right? But this 310 area has been support a bunch of times on it. It has held it over and over again, here and then back and through here, right? So now we're out of the Bollinger Bands and Tesla looks horrible and it's extended. Maybe we can bounce up. Maybe we try to bounce up to 320 and retouch this trend line here and retest it and prove whether it has any validity or not. So something you can do today if you want to play with Tesla and you don't want to put a lot of money at risk and just try to make a couple bucks is you can look at the weekly 330s. They're pretty cheap, and buy one or two, risk $100. And if it goes and it gets to 320 and it does it today, right? You know, you'll have a three, roughly you'll get up to $3. You'll have a nice little trade on that. Give it a try. Worth a try if it wants to go. Watch the action. If it looks like it wants to go, it's worth giving it a shot. What do you have to lose on something like that? A low risk trade. You can define your risk with one or two options, right? You choose your side, but go from there and try to play that and see if we can get a ride up. You know, if you're more aggressive, you can play at the 320s in the money, closer to the money there and get the delta and go for the bigger win. But again, it just depends on who you are and what you're looking to accomplish here. And, if you're looking for a low risk trade on Tesla, there you go. Low risk, cheap trade on Tesla. Another name I'd keep an eye on today is Google. Again, Google sold off hard after looking good here, looking okay, sold off all the way almost to the 100-day. This thing is moving 20, 30 bucks a day. Okay, nice range. You don't need much. One option, cheap out of the money option will do you on something like this. So these are names we can keep track of today to see what they do and see what they bring to us. At this point, I'm Twitter. I'm waiting to see, unless I see volume, Twitter's not on my go-to list. I'm still in it, still in common and one option in June, which I may add a couple more of those June options now, but it's just not on my go-to list here. It's tired. It's run a ton. It's relaxing. It's resting, which is what names do, by the way. Names rest after they've run a lot. They sit there and they digest those gains to get ready for the next run. We don't like when everything just keeps going straight up. Cat was on my list yesterday. We have a downtrend here, by the way. Can't see it because I don't have it drawn on this chart, so let me go put it in there. But you have right there, a downtrend. And right now, Cat is bouncing against it. Right. So yesterday we talked about not the best place to enter it yesterday because of that gap down. And then you have support pretty well defined right here at this 143 area. So, bottom of the Bollinger Band off 143, you give this thing a shot. So for today, guys, I'm looking for longs today. Oh, let's talk AMD. I knew I want to talk one more. AMD. I'm talking about AMD because this one continues to try to get its act together down here. All that yesterday puts that we thought were bought were closed. We're seeing a lot of puts being closed on this at this name. It tried to go yesterday into the fiasco and got pulled back. Maybe today is a different story. Maybe today it goes. It didn't have a lot of range yesterday, so it generally doesn't. It generally doesn't move big, so it's hard to play with options. I prefer to grab 1,000 or 2,000 shares of common and take this thing for a ride. So that said, guys, it is 8 o'clock. Futures are holding in up here, and we'll see what the open brings. Again, I'm looking for some type of short rally, maybe a short cover rally today as they rope some people in, and then we'll see where we go from there. As always, I'll let the option flow be my guide. It tells me what's going on. It tells me what they're doing, and the last week or so has told me to be chill and to play specific names that they came after. If you like what I do, you can sign up at the description below at smartoptiontrading.com. $25 for your first 30 days, and then renews at $100 a month. You get the morning call, you get the evening recap, all the option flow throughout the day, things I find, news I see that's important, charts put in there as well. And we do a weekly subscriber webinar every Thursday night at 6 where we do teaching and talk about what's going on in the markets in more depth. If you're interested, sign up in the link below. Hope everybody has a good day. For everybody in the service, see you at the open.